Last post was about 2 weeks after IVIG. So now we're going on 3 weeks, and we've had some really great days and some kind of medium days, you know, not like horrible, but not great. Yesterday we saw kind of an uptick in his manic behavior and a little more aggression. Half our family is sick right now, and usually he's in like a major flare when they're sick, and so at least he's not like really bad. But before that, he was doing amazing. He was like really calm and no manic, no tics, almost no aggression. He was using his words properly. He still has some things that are kind of OCD and kind of clingy a little bit. You know, he wants me to hold his hand while he eats sometimes, or when he goes to the bathroom, he wants me to go stand in there with him and hold his hand. But for the most part, I would say there's still an overall improvement since before the IVIG. So I'm hopeful that that's the reason. It also could be that it's, you know, March, and this is kind of when he usually comes out of his flare funk anyway, just because it's getting warmer outside and people are less sick, but we still have a lot of sickness in our home. So I'm hoping that it's more of the IVIG rather than his usual, you know, improvements this time of year. So we have been doing a lot of detox stuff because he had that big flare up in the second week after the IVIG. And I've heard from other moms that detoxing and anti-inflammatories can help a lot. And so we've been doing some hibiscus tea and kind of a detox tea, and Epsom salt baths, magnesium. I started activated charcoal this week, but with the activated charcoal, I'm not giving him a whole lot because I know that it can make it so you don't absorb a lot of other nutrients and things. And I feel like it's really important for him to get his probiotics and his antibiotics and food and, you know, things like that. And so I've really only added it in once a day, right when he comes home from school. So it's far away from any other meals that he's eating or supplements. What else? I've also, you know, since he's on antibiotics a lot, I've been trying to kind of get his gut in balance. And so we always do probiotics, but I've also added in some things that are supposed to help create a good environment for good bugs. Kefir is fermented milk, and I've added that in daily. He will drink some kefir in a smoothie, or I, add a little chocolate milk to sweeten it up, and a little regular milk, and do half and half, and he'll drink that. I guess fermented stuff just creates more of an acidic balance in your gut, and that is good for the good bacterias. I'm not a pro in this. I'm just sort of starting out and learning about this as I go. So if anybody has any tips and tricks about this, I am totally open to advice. What else have we done? I think it's called chlorella. It's another fermented thing. I think it's like, I don't even remember what it is. It's a supplement I read about that is kind of like the kefir. So I've added that in. I feel like I'm missing something here that I'm doing. Anyway, if I think about it later, I'll add it in later. So anyway, so we're just really focusing right now on the detox and balancing his gut and trying to keep that better so we don't get yeast problems with the antibiotics, and so that hopefully if he has any kind of brain fog from leaky gut, that we can kind of get that back on track. Oh, I've decreased sugar a lot. He's like a sugaraholic, and if it's anywhere in the house, he will find it. So it's hidden and relocated as soon as he finds it to another hidden spot. to try to keep him low on sugar. I should just get rid of it, but I just hate being wasteful, and so I'm keeping it just for like special occasion treats. And just with meals, trying to get, you know, healthy whole foods into him, rather than processed foods. Lots of water. Lemon water is another detox thing. I ordered Berber, I think it's Berber drops, but they haven't come in the mail yet. I got those through Amazon.com and I'm just still waiting on those. But yeah, we're going. I, meanwhile, had a hysterectomy, so I've been in bed recovering and kind of doing research and things, and basically one night I had insomnia because they had given me morphine for my surgery, and so I was up all night and I was heavily medicated, so, but anyway, I just was starting to think like about pandas and Jace's journey, and throughout this whole thing, you know, we've tried some supplements and different things, and you know, from day one, I've heard a lot of families that have found success using, you know, homeopathy or naturopath or, you know, oils or different things, and I've always kind of been the one to say, you know, I'm going to stick with modern medicine, stuff that's, you know, studied and proven. You know, I don't want to experiment on my kid. And the more we've gone down this path, the more I feel like, as much as, you know, antibiotics and things have helped Jace, I feel like it's caused so many other problems. And we, you know, with yeast and just feeling like his body's been thrown off balance. Early in his P.A.N.D.A.S journey, we put him on antibiotics, and he would come back to us, like full on, you know, 90 to 100% come back to us. And as this journey has continued, he seems more and more autistic, where he has good days and good weeks, but he doesn't fully come back to us. And that could be that he is autistic and he has that diagnosis. I think at first I was hesitant to believe that he was autistic. I really truly felt like it was P.A.N.D.A.S, and that because his onset was so early at the age of about 18 months, that it had caused so many cognitive delays and memory loss and developmental delays and things that it looked, and you know, the behavioral problems, that it looked a lot like autism. But once we got his P.A.N.D.A.S figured out, then we would get Jace back and think, oh yeah, he's not autistic, you know, and you know, glad that we figured that out. And as this journey has gone on, even when he's doing well, he seems more and more autistic. And part of me still wants to hold on to the belief that it's still the P.A.N.D.A.S. And if I'm going down that road, I really feel like it's the treatment that has caused this huge imbalance in his gut. I guarantee he has leaky gut and, you know, brain fog and all of these things. I know he has tons of inflammation. Jace is a picky eater. He is not the best eater. And for the longest time, because he wouldn't eat when he was in a flare, and he was in flare so much, I just would feed him whatever he would eat. You know, if all he wanted was chocolate, then I would put chocolate on everything. Chocolate on bread, chocolate on chicken, chocolate on vegetables, you know, just to get him to eat something. We're kind of past that phase now where he's eating pretty regularly, which is such a blessing. But because he's eating pretty regularly, I have now put more of an effort into cleaning up how he eats and what he eats, you know, hiding the sugar, hiding the chocolate, Eating a lot more fruits and vegetables, doing a lot more smoothies. We've started doing some supplements and things like that. And with the supplements and eating clean, I have seen a bit of the fog lift from him, which gives me more hope that it's this balance that's off in his body, and whether that's autism or whether that's just negative side effects from the treatment, whatever it is. I feel like maybe I have closed that door prematurely on natural remedies, and part of it is it's expensive. Supplements and vitamins and things are expensive, and I can justify modern medicine because my insurance will pay for a lot of it. And when you're thinking about going to a naturopath or doing homeopathy or something like that, that is an avenue that I know nothing about. I know nothing about what's been proven or studied. I'm basically just hearing other moms tell their stories and what their children have gained from doing this route. I'm basing it on that, and am I willing to go and put all this money into this? I don't want to be suckered into the new fad, or some doctor that's has his own line of supplements that he's spindling. That's my fear, and why I haven't gone down this avenue in the first place or long ago. But as we have given Jace supplements, especially omega-3s have really, really helped him. All along, I knew when we've given him steroids or ibuprofen, it's like the next day, he's like so much better, especially with steroids. It's like you flip the switch and suddenly Jace is back. So I know anything that's going to decrease inflammation is going to help. And so I've done a lot of research on, different supplements and foods that we can give him that will decrease the inflammation. I also believe that his gut is way off balance. And so I've done a lot of research on giving him probiotics and, giving him fermented foods and different things that will hopefully naturally balance out his gut. So with that said, in the hospital, I have insomnia, I'm drugged up, and I start praying because I'm alone and it's at night, and so I start praying and asking God to direct me to the thing that's going to balance his body and his brain and his gut. I feel like this entire journey, I'm Christian, I believe in God, and I pray, and I feel like our whole journey has been directed through prayer and people answering those prayers and inspiration. So, we've started the IVIG, which is amazing, and I really feel like that is going to reboot his immune system and hopefully stop the autoimmune reaction. But I don't know how much of it is going to help this balancing act. And so I prayed to God to direct me to what else he needs to balance out all of the rest, and clear out the aftermath so that the fog can be lifted. And once we get Jace, his immune system leveled out, I want the rest of his body to be whole as well. So it was interesting that the very next day I opened up, got online and opened up my YouTube channel, and I apologize if this was you, but I don't remember who it was. Someone had left a comment that I had never noticed before because it was marked as spam. And all it was a link. And it was to a mom blog. I think it was called Saving My Panda or Saving Our Panda. And it was all about her son and how you know, it was probably 5 or 6 years that he had PANDAS and was undiagnosed. And he was about the age of Jace when he had his onset, and there were so many similarities, except she went the natural route, whereas I went modern medicine. And so reading her story about her son, and his healing and where he is now, it was like such an answer to my prayer. So I immediately started Googling, you know, naturopaths near where I live, or, you know, homeopathy near where I live. And it was kind of funny because this clinic that had just opened up maybe a year ago down the street from where we live popped up. And I had no idea that they did that there. But I remember when it was built that it was going to be a medical facility. And it said something about neuroscience on it. And I thought, oh, wouldn't that be great if this was the place that could cure Jace, and it's right down the street from our house? Wouldn't that be great? So it was just funny that that is this place that pops up, and I call them. They take our insurance, and they are a holistic office that they have medical doctors, they have homeopathy, they have naturopath, they have all of it. They treat the whole body and mind. And I just thought, wow, like it's just so amazing sometimes how quickly things kind of come together. I know sometimes it's the long route and you look back and you see how it intertwines, but this time it was like, boom, I prayed, I saw that link, I read her story, I Googled, I found this place, I called, they take our insurance, and I made an appointment. So that's where we are right now. We have an appointment for next week on Tuesday to take Jace to this clinic. So I can't do much right now. I'm still recovering from surgery, but I can go through his medical records and get them ready to send over and just give them all the information that they need before we come in. And I am really hopeful that with IVIG and with this new clinic, they can direct us as to what supplements, or, you know, I really am such an amateur when it comes to this. I'm sure a lot of you know way more than I do, but I'm just hoping that they can guide us to how to balance his body and lift this fog. So that my hope is, 6 months from now when we're finishing up I guess it's 5 months from now when we're finishing up our last round of IVIG, that when he's hopefully at baseline, that, we are really seeing Jace again. It's hard because you want to hope so much, and yet you don't want to hope too much, because if it doesn't happen, you don't want to feel that devastation that what you just really thought was going to work didn't. But that's where I am right now. I'm so full of hope. I trust in God, and I feel like we've been led to this. So that's where I am right now. Jace has had some really good days the last few days, and next week I'm still going to be recovering, but I'm hoping that I can go with Jace and his dad, Abe, to the hospital for his next infusion, so that I won't be able to physically manage Jace, but I'll be there for support and to hopefully document how it goes. We hope it goes better than last time. So anyway, our next update should be after our naturopath visit and IVIG. So wish us luck. Thanks, everybody.